Hello everybody, my name is SH Monsterarts and welcome to the Godzilla vs. Kong SH Monsterarts Kong 2021 unboxing and review. Now, you know how we always start these off, we have to take a look at the box. Very nice picture of Kong here at the front. You gotta notice that this is a significantly smaller box than the normal Monsterarts line, obviously because Kong is smaller and not as wide in some cases. Now, going on to the back here, we get Godzilla vs. Kong, some nice promo shots, Japanese that I can't read, name of the figure, kind of skipped over it, but here's a nice picture of Kong on the side, obviously the name of the figure. Top, you get a weird little window view down, and if we flip it over this way, name of the figure again. They really love to put that all over on this figure. Ooh, my camera is not focused on that. There we go. Then you come around this way. Again, they love to put it everywhere. Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. Really long name to keep putting everywhere. Monsterverse logo. Then on the bottom here, a bunch of legal stuff that I can't read. So, without further ado, we are going to take our knife up here and finally get the monkey out of the box. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this figure from Big Bad Toy Store. And it has only just arrived to me maybe 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks after the Godzilla. Which, unfortunate, but what matters is that he is finally here. If you look inside the box here, they give him a little backing. Not too sure why. Doesn't make all the difference, but it is nice to include that. Now, one of the first things is that this is really scary. I don't really like seeing the inside of Kong's mouth from behind, but this is it. This is what you get. So right off the bat, you get an alternate head, which is the roaring head. I think it's 3 sets of hands, the axe, and of course Kong himself. Now let's get this out here, so that way we can take a better look at it. This is the first Kong figure in my collection, so I am quite excited for this. Not to mention the movie was fantastic, so this Kong of all Kongs is definitely a worthy one. I don't want his accessories flying out everywhere, so we're going to start with the figure itself. Alright. To get the plastic off here, looks like you just kind of got to pull it from in between his joints, which is a weird sensation. Alright, there's that. And then this one, I think you can just take the head off. Yep. And that'll get the plastic off from there. Toss that aside. Definitely very good looking. Let me get a head back on there real quick. The head is kind of shallow, which is different than the Godzilla heads, because obviously they needed room down here for the rest of the head. But he looks good. He's noticeably smaller than Godzilla, which obviously is a good thing in this case, because he was in the film. Sculpt is really nice. There's a lot of detailing to mimic the fur. I don't want to get too much into the articulation. There's some monkey cheeks for you. He's got a nice muscular sculpt. I'm really glad that he captures the look of Kong from the film. Some weird gapping here that you can fix just by reposing him, so it's not too big of an issue. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say it. He looks good. I've been hearing mixed reviews from people saying that his head looks weird. Personally, I don't really mind it. I'm going to bring the roaring head up here for comparison. Don't really want to put it on just yet. But he looks good, you know. I really can't say too much more. The painting is nice. Maybe one small criticism I have is that his eyes kind of get lost because he's such a dark figure, that it's almost hard to notice his eyes. They are painted, I believe. Yeah. And it just kind of gets lost because his face is so dark, but I don't really see any way that they could have worked around that. He's got a very nice dark chest. He maybe uses a couple different shades of brown to accentuate certain features, like his chest, the fur, and then maybe just some different shading here on the face. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to pretend to be one. I absolutely know nothing about paint, sculpt, or any of that complicated wise, so we're just going to let the accessories fly out here. Great. This review won't be too long now, just because, like I said, new figure for me. It's going to take me a while to figure out all the kicks and giggles out of this figure, but so we'll start going over his accessories, which I've so lovely scattered all over the place. First one is that you get a pair of gripping hands, which are obviously for his axe that he finds in the film. Not really sure how to get these up there. Let me focus that on there. Bring in a lamp. And obviously, you know, they're sculpted well. Let's try and get the axe in this one, which, speaking of the axe, really good looking. I really like the detail on what the dorsal plate and the handle's got a nice bone paint job. Then once you just get it in there, not too sure how you do this actually, I don't want to break the hands. This has to be the gripping pair because there is no other pair for gripping. And it's very reminiscent of like older action figures where you kind of just have to pop it in. Maybe it's this one that you use to grip? Nope, these are the gripping hands. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. These are obviously just kind of like his... I don't really know what these hands are supposed to be. Climbing, maybe? And then there's the other climbing, and then you kind of just got his neutral flat hands, which also obviously look very good. Now, in terms of getting this axe in his hands, it really does feel like you just kind of got to pop it in there and then just, yep, there we go. Wow. All right, that looks good. So there we go. Monkey holding the axe. I mean, I'm kind of lost. I really don't know too much what else to say. I'll include a nice thumbnail for this picture. I'm thinking I'm going to recreate the aircraft carrier shot from the film. And taking one last look here at Kong. Let me get my green screen out of there. We zoom in a bit, focus it. There we go. He does get some left and right head movement. He gets pretty limited chest articulation, but you can see there's a bit of swivel here. Hand articulation, I mean, not hand. I mean, you can swivel the hands, which is nice. You get a nice joint here, so that way you can get more arm movement out of him than most other figures from the Monsterarts line. He does seem to get a pretty wide range of motion here out of the arm, getting a full 360 right there because of what I assume to be a ball joint. It's getting stiff there. I don't want to risk it. Nope, full 360. Perfect. He does get a flex here, get them monkey biceps for all of your Kong workout shots. Which, altogether, I have to say I do like this figure already. I wasn't expecting too much, but he does get a lot out of the legs as well. He's got this weird little foot pivot, maybe? I'm not too sure about the actual terms, but he gets this nice bit of ankle articulation. Not too sure how I'm going to utilize that, but I'll find a way. And obviously the knee is indeed articulated. There's a piece here that comes down when you pull the knee, so that way it fully shows fur and it's not just a gap. That's a bit of an ugly gap there in his leg. But, again, nothing that can't be fixed just by moving it back up. So, all in all, I think this is a pretty good figure. I'm happy with it. It's nice to finally have a Kong come out of the Monsterverse line that isn't the 2005. Still would have liked to have seen maybe the 2017 Kong with the skull crawler. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And this figure is definitely making up for the loss already. Because this is just a fierce looking ape. Let me focus that. As you can tell, this is another review where I'm just taking it all in one shot. I didn't really want to put too much effort into it, because I just want to get to taking shots at the figure and having fun with it. But I figured I'd at least share my initial thoughts with you guys about it. And then if we bring him in for a size comparison, he is quite about what you'd expect from them. He does look a bit smaller, but not too small. And he definitely looks like he scales up compared to the movie. So, all in all, he looks pretty damn good. Let's get him about full height, so that way it can really show the size comparison here without being biased towards the G-Man. It is going to be weird because he is technically a bipedal figure without a tail to balance him. But he does stand pretty well on his own. He has the weight to balance it. But that looks great. Super excited to finally have this Kong here. Again, he definitely gets a lot more accessories than Godzilla, having 3 alternate hands to Godzilla's 2, the axe when Godzilla didn't even get a beam. There he goes, falling over. Good, you stood back up. Yeah, I'd say that weird little feet articulation I was making fun of was definitely to help him balance, because he can do some pretty funky movements here, going all the way back and all the way up, just using that articulation in his feet, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about him. I mean, it's the monkey. He's here. He's got a lot of articulations. He comes at a good price. I think he was noticeably... He's about the same price, if not the exact same price that I paid for the Godzilla. I think I got them both for $80 USD with shipping to the United States. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Obviously, again, there's the axe. He gets hands, a different head. And that's about all I can say for it. I'm going to take a quick thumbnail shot for you guys, and thank you so much for joining me on this more casual, less in-depth review, because honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just like to enjoy the figures for what they are, and that's about what I do. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.